Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Palisade Gate in Age of Empires 2. Now if you clicked on this video expecting this to be a nice, positive and wholesome video about the Palisade Gate, explaining why it's amazing to have a gate in Dark Age with your Palisade walls to let your vills and units go in and out and make your base look really nice and everything works smoothly, unfortunately that is not the case. I actually hate the Palisade Gate, and as it happens it is nothing personal. It is purely based on the numbers, and I am not happy with the numbers that the Palisade Gate has been pulling. Let's take a deep dive into the Palisade Gate and I'll show you guys why I think it's one of the worst buildings in the game and why I personally opt to never make it if I have the choice. Let's take a look at its stats, and we're going to be primarily comparing it to the Palisade Wall, which is like the alternative to making a gate. I know you might think that it's like Palisade Gate and Palisade Wall go hand in hand, but really you could actually just do without the gate and only Palisade walls. We're not really going to consider stone walls though, because stone walling is not bad for Castle Age onwards. For Feudal Age it tends to be a little bit too expensive and hard to get set up. You only have a limited 200 stone, and mining it can be pretty awkward in the Feudal Age. So generally speaking, for the early game, most players would opt to go for Palisade walls and Palisade gates. Alright, so to compare the Palisade Gate with the Palisade Wall, we're going to first take a look at their stats as well as their cost. The Palisade Gate is sitting at 400 HP with 2 melee armor and 2 pierce armor, and it costs 30 wood. The Palisade Wall on the other hand has 250 HP, 2 melee armor and 5 pierce armor, and costs 3 wood apiece. For argument's sake, we're going to pretend like the Palisade Wall will count as 12 wood because you need 4 pieces of Palisade Wall to cover the same distance as the Palisade Gate. So the cost in this case would be 12 wood for the Palisade Wall and 30 wood for the gate. Now looking at the stats, upon first glance it looks like it's a pretty decent and kind of well balanced difference between the Palisade Gate and the Palisade Walls. Palisade Gate has an extra 150 HP, but trades that for 3 pierce armor. Seems pretty reasonable. However, upon further inspection, we can see that the extra 150 HP simply does not compensate for the 3 pierce armor missing. Picture this very classic scenario where your opponent has archers in the Feudal Age. He has fletching, so therefore the archers will have 5 attack. He hits a Palisade Wall for exactly 1 damage. It has 5 pierce armor. That same archer will hit the Palisade Gate and deal 3 damage of volley. So 3 damage on the gate versus 1 damage on the wall. If you do the math and you see how many arrows you need to kill a Palisade Gate versus a Palisade Wall, the Palisade Wall is easy, you need 250 shots, but the Palisade Gate you need a shocking 134. No more than 134 shots to kill a gate, and that is absolutely massive because that is way less than the 250 needed for the Palisade Wall, meaning that the archers are getting in basically like almost half the time that your wall would buy you. Right off the bat, this is a very bad sign for the gate because the wall is supposed to protect you in general, and having Palisade Walls or gates, regardless, you just want to be safe from enemy troops. And Archer Rush is one of the most popular ways to break in Feudal Age. Scouts and skirms usually just don't cut it. Sometimes men at arms and whatnot can be good, but archers is the main tool to break into a wall, and the gate is going down pretty much twice as fast as the wall. Not only that though, but even if you consider for a second that maybe there's no archers on the field, we're simply dealing with melee units and just a few skirmishers behind or a couple archers behind, but it's mainly the melee units that are hitting the wall or the gate. It's simply easier to break a gate even in this case because although the armor is the same and the gate has more HP, more melee units can hit the gate at the same time. So the scouts or the men at arms that want to break in will usually opt to hit the Palisade Gate because they can hit it with more units, thus breaking it faster or at least in the same amount of time. And breaking the gate is usually a much better choice for the opponent because when you're trying to enter a base, you want the gap to be as wide as possible. If you break in through a Palisade Wall only, you can actually risk getting trapped because your opponent can, just re-wall that as you enter his base and keep you locked into his base. Re-walling one area or one tile is very easy. You just slap down another Palisade Wall. Whereas if you break the gates, your opponent will have a very hard time plugging that gap of 4 tiles because quick walling with a gate is not that good. It has no pierce armor as it comes up, so if he wants to quickly trap you by making another gate, you can easily just target that gate and kill it since it has exactly 0 armor, both pierce and melee, until it's built. Okay, so now we've established that both melee units and range units have an easier time breaking through the Palisade Gate over the Palisade Wall. Well, maybe we'll take a look at the cost real quick, and maybe that's going to be in favor of the Palisade Gate. As it turns out, we've already covered this, and the Palisade Gate costs more than twice the Palisade Walls needed to cover those 4 tiles. So the gate is super inefficient, costing you a whopping 30 wood, whereas the Palisade Walls will cost you only only 12 wood. So both in protection, it's not worth it, and in cost, it's also not worth it. What exactly is the purpose of the gate? Now, you could argue that the purpose of the gate and the benefit that it brings is non-quantifiable. You can't really put a number on it because the idea of moving in and out of your base is kind of what the gate facilitates. And having the gate there makes you, safe, keeps you fully walled, but lets your units go in and out. Now, even with this, I am not quite satisfied because I personally think that going in and out of your base can be achieved with palisade walls. All you have to do is fully wall your base with palisades, and if you want to enter your base, you literally delete one piece of palisade wall, get your army in, and then you can re-wall it if you want to, or if you want to have units go out of your base, you can delete one piece of palisade, send them out, and then re-wall it. Even this, we can bump the palisade cost up to 15 to include that extra piece we're making if we're really calculating everything, and even then it's still half the cost of the palisade gate. So taking this to a practical scenario at the highest level, I am starting to not make a single palisade gate if I can help it, and just make palisade walls everywhere around my base. Then when I want to leave, I simply break a palisade wall and I can remake it or not. Sometimes I keep a hole in my base to bait my opponent into coming into my base, and I'll be ready because I know where he's going to come from. I know where the hole is. Doing this tactic, there's also another secret benefit, but it's only really applicable to high level Age of Empires, but I'll let you guys know just in case you guys are interested. If I have a palisade gate, my opponent will know exactly where I'm going to leave and enter my base from. So if I want to sneak a build forward or move out with my army, he knows where to keep his scout to see me moving out. If I only wall with palisade walls, I can theoretically leave my base at any point and I can just delete a palisade wall, send the army out, and he's not going to realize where I'm coming out from. This is a subtle advantage that can really make it hard for your opponent to read your moves, which is not going to come up in like every game, but it's just nice to have that extra layer of secrecy when it comes to your strategy. Obviously, in theory, you can make a big brain 200 IQ play and you can make a palisade gate and then still sneak away to the other side by deleting a palisade wall, but honestly, my brain is not at that level yet, and maybe I need a couple more years to develop. And listen, this isn't a call to stop making palisade gates altogether. I can fully understand that for beginner players or simply like guys that just want to chill, you don't want to have to worry about having a hole in your base that you have to constantly destroy a wall, rebuild it, that kind of stuff, just to move units in and out of your base. Sometimes just having that gate there can make life so much easier for you, and honestly, that is a very good point. If having a gate there is nice, you think it looks nice, it's aesthetically pleasing for you, it makes you feel good, makes you feel warm and comfortable inside, then by all means go for it, because at the end of the day, it's only costing you an extra 18 wood, and let's be honest, half the time you guys are floating like 5,000 wood anyways at minute 20, so I don't think 18 wood is really gonna cost you. But I figured I might as well make this video because it's a small and a minor topic that us nerds love to talk about for 10 minutes on end, and I'd like to, really go into the nitty-gritty with the numbers and see what is truly worth it and what is not. I'm already driving doubt crazy when I talk about the walking time and the building time when it comes to analyzing bonuses, but that's a topic for another day and maybe another video. Maybe I'll drag in doubt so I can annoy him with those numbers live in a video. Maybe. But for now, that's going to be it with the Palisade Gate. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you guys did. And if you guys want more content from me, check out my Twitch for my live streams and my Patreon for the juicy guides that are exclusive to my Patreon supporters. Thank you for those that support me on Patreon, and links in the description for both Twitch and Patreon for those who want to join. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.